Monitech, leading name for industrial display solutions in the world market today. Proudly providing solutions for all your industrial display needs for hundreds of legacy controllers. Visit us at monitech.com. Thank you.
Welcome to Monitech. Today we're going to be installing LED backlights in a Panelview 600. There's a couple different types of Panelview 600s. This one in particular has an NEC LCD panel in it, where it has two CCFL bulbs, and these are the two LEDs right there that are going to be replacing them. So first thing you got to do is remove the back cover, and then we're going to remove the front bezel keypad. This one version is just a keypad, but this works for both the keypad touchscreen only ones and both keypad and touchscreen versions of the Panelview 600. And there we go, the back cover is removed, and on the left there's where there's your Panelview 2711 number, and on the left there's where your keypad is being plugged in. If you had a touchscreen version, that's also where the touchscreens would be plugged into it as well, like keypad touchscreen version. Now we're going to remove the front bezel. This control has 5 screws on this one, usually 6 screws. Holds the front bezel in place. And if you have the other version, with Monitech also has backlight replacements for that as well. The installation is very similar. And just pull it ever so slightly, and see, it comes right off. There's the element. There you go, Panelview 600. Now flip it over, and there's the LCD panel. And we have now we're going to be taking the LCD panel out of the control. There's just 4 screws to hold this NEC panel in. And you can see the wires for the CCFL bulb on the side there. It would be nice if you didn't have to take the LCD off, but this is how they designed it. The video cable's on the left side of there. For this demo, we just left it plugged in. You can take it off if you want. Has a little clip on it, pops off. So here, just disconnect the CCFL bulbs and the cable. Here's the video cable on the other side there. So to remove the CCFL bulbs, just take a flat screwdriver and insert it. There's a little plastic tab that's holding the CCFL bulbs in place, and you just push it sideways and the bulb slides right off. Nice and simple. And the other side's exactly the same. So now we have the new LED bulbs that we're going to be putting in. Just a closer look on this. So you see there's LEDs inside. It's a tight fit. You have to wiggle it a little bit. It goes on rails on the inside. There's on the left and right, so you kind of wiggle it around, get it in place. There's the top one, and then the bottom one. And once you get it on, it should slide right in. Ideally so that the clip is clipped. And then the other side is got stuck a little bit, and just take a flat screwdriver and push it the rest of the way in. In this case, a little bit of force, slide it in place. Once it's there, you're never going to worry about coming back out of there. Now, take the cable and run it through to the other side. It's a little voltage converter that just peel and stick. It's really light. Not much to it. It doesn't produce any heat. It just sits in place there. Now we're going to put the 4 screws back in and get that LCD LCD panel mounted. Alright, the last part, this next part here is we're going to be plugging in the cable, the connector. So we have to remove the power supply on the back. It's just 4 screws. And we're going to use the lines that go to the power supply to the main board for the power to run the backlights. The 4 screws are off, the power supply board slides off. Just lift straight up and over those rails there. Now, we're just zoomed in view here. This is what it looks like, those connectors, and it just slides off just like that. Now you take backlight plug, and you'll notice you'll see a 5 and a G on it. The G is the center one, and the 5 is goes towards the outside. And it just slides over those pins all the way down, so that the pins go straight through. Next thing is cables. Keep the cables nice and tidy, and the power supply goes back in place. Let's put the 4 screws back on. Okay, we're gonna remove the CCFL backlight cable. You can just cut it, you don't need it anymore, or you can unscrew the board and remove it, the board lifted up. But in this case, we just cut it to get rid of it. We don't need it. And now we're gonna put the front bezel back in place. So if you have a touchscreen, you gotta have the touchscreen will have cable as well. So this has just the keypad. Plug it in. This whole video is approximately 10 minutes long. So this whole, I didn't fast forward it. My next video I might fast forward so you don't have to watch me put screws in. But this kind of gives you the idea of 10 minutes and you should have your backlight replaced. Where if you send this back to Allen Bradley, Rockwell Automation, they'll not only have it for 2 weeks, but they'll charge $1,000+ to do this type of work. So this is a nice and simple thing that you can do on your own. 10 minutes, take it off your machine, 10 minutes, backlight installed, put it back in your machine, and you're off to the races. And one more screw. And then the back cover goes on. This case has 5 screws on it. The big difference for the different panel views is that NEC panel. So Monotech has all the different backlight solutions for all the different panels, but for this particular one, it's an NEC panel that needs those CCFL bulbs replaced. For the Panelview 600 Plus, Monotech's one of the only companies that has the LCD panel, replacement LCD panel for it. And same with 550, we also are one of the only companies that have that replacement LCD panel as well. And now that we got those in, now we're gonna test it. So when you're testing this on the bench, just be aware. So the ground, that's your yellow-green wire, make sure that's right. The other 2 wires, for testing, it doesn't really matter. You can interchange them. So you're line in neutral. Okay, so we just flip it over, have a look. You're looking at the green light, making sure the green light's on. And there is the camera. It was so bright the camera was reacting kind of weird to it. So it's a little glaring. So I got the camera, I moved it in a little closer so you can kind of see it. So this is double the brightness of the original. And it's absolutely amazing. Alright, so there you go. Have a nice day.